Okay, so some things I miss about America. Lemonade, because you can't get real lemonade here. You can only get Sprite or 7-Up. I don't really drink soda, so I don't know what they are. But you'll think it's real lemonade and you'll get really excited when you see it on a menu because you think it's just gonna be here this one time, and it's not. It's not lemonade because they just don't like lemons here. They like Sprite. I also miss being able to watch music videos because you can't watch any music videos here because the laws are different and no one gives permission to Europe to watch videos. Or Germany, maybe other parts of Europe, because apparently if you go to Starbucks, they have English copyright laws, and you can watch YouTube videos. What else? Starbucks being cheaper, along with everything else. Except for pretzels. Pretzels are always cheap. But I never would have thought of Starbucks in America as being affordable, but comparatively it sort of is, because the prices are about the same, except here they use the euro, so you're actually paying more for the same thing. And sometimes it actually costs more. I still go though, because it's tasty. What else? I have a list on my computer, so I'm actually moving it over so I can see it. People smiling. At first, I really liked not seeing people smile all the time because it kind of becomes a tiresome social obligation when you always have to smile at everyone you see, no matter if you see them in the street or a grocery store or a restaurant or whatever, no matter what mood you're in, you just have to look like you're excited to see this random stranger that you never met and maybe looks creepy. But you still have to smile because that's what you do when you pass people and there's not other people around. At least in Buffalo. Obviously this is comparing Buffalo to Munich and not like California to Berlin or something like that. But yeah, it's just really different, and people don't smile to strangers as much or to each other or say hello when they pass people in the street or wave or anything like that, and it's fine, and obviously it's just a different cultural thing, like it's a different setup, but it takes getting used to because even though I know that it's a cultural thing and not personal, it's still, my brain still interprets it as everyone staring at me and thinking there's something wrong with me simply because they aren't smiling at me when they're on a bus. And it's just weird how you miss that because I wouldn't have thought I would miss sort of fake smiles, but I don't know, it's just, and then you feel weird because I'm still, you know, after being in America for 21 years, whatever, I think of it as an automatic thing, so when I see someone and I pass them, I go, hey, and then they'll just look at me like, what's your problem? But it's okay. One time someone did smile at me and then I got really, really confused because I was just trying to go through all the scenarios in which I might know her because I saw her on the bus, but she was like 18 maybe, or, I mean, obviously I know 18-year-olds, so she just looked like more younger than anyone I would know from this area. Because I live outside of town, and I just could not figure out where I knew her from, and then so I was like, is she foreign? Like, why is she smiling? And I just got really confused. So I guess maybe it works out for the best that people don't smile, because I would get really confused. Wearing t-shirts, I miss wearing t-shirts in public. I mean, okay, I still do, but only when I'm in Ottobrunn and not in Munich and around anyone I know. It's just, people definitely dress nicer here, and sometimes it's nice because, you know, it looks nice and things that are pleasing to your eye are pleasing, but it's also a lot of more, it's more pressure to just look good every time of the day. Like, I wouldn't feel comfortable even going to the grocery store in sweatpants and a t-shirt, but if I had done this at home, like, no one would have given me a second glance, like, no one would have given me an award for being super attractive, but, like, no one would, you know, you walk to Wegmans or take the car to Target and, you know, it's normal, like, everyone wears sweatpants sometimes when you're lazy, but here, it wouldn't pass. You could try, but it's just, it's definitely, not as common, and same things with, like, sweatshirts. I still wear them because whatever, like, they're chill, but I also lack, a lot of things that I could wear that are, like, sweatshirts, but not, but, yeah, it's just different, a lot of different, how much people are comfortable with injuring themselves to look good, doesn't sound right. But like, high heels are very popular here. Like, I think that might be just a Munich thing, but like, going out in the winter, you know, it's like slippery, it's snowy, it's cold, and every single German girl, well, not every single, like 99% of the German girls my age will be wearing 4-inch high heels, like stiletto heels, and, you know, stockings or nothing with a skirt, or sometimes, like, you know, tights or leggings, but most of the time it was just like, I don't know how they did it. Like, I couldn't do it. It would just be impossible. Especially walking home and stuff. Like, you walk a lot here, and the heel, I don't know how, I don't know. I mean, props to everyone that does it. I just could not, and then it was kind of sad because I felt really proud of myself for buying, you know, just normal boots with little heels, because I never had like a really nice pair of boots before. And then it was just like, oh, they're not really that cool because they're just boots. They're not 4-inch high heel gaga boots of any sort. What else? Oh, curly hair doesn't fly either. That was really awkward. I mean, my hair, if you've seen it, which you probably haven't, is naturally curly. And I straighten all the time now because after my hair was short, it doesn't look good. It looks like a giant mess of something on my head. But for St. Patrick's Day, I decided to let it go curly because that just seems Irish to me, and I don't look that Irish as I used to because my hair got all dark and my freckles disappeared. But so I just was like, whatever, like I'll have curly hair and then I don't have to worry about straightening it, and I save time and I can be more lazy than usual. And I did that, and I was walking down the street, and every single person that passed me looked at me like I was out of my mind, and it was the most uncomfortable day of my life. Not really. That's a complete exaggeration. It was still really awkward though. And at first I thought it was just in my head, like I'm self-conscious, so I think people are looking at me when they're not. But then I was like, no, people are actually like turning their heads as they're biking to like stare me down as if I was doing some horrible, weird thing, and it was just really strange. But because normally, like I said, like there's no acknowledgement. Like people will pass you, like they're not gonna frown, they're not gonna smile, but most of the time they're just gonna like keep on going the way they're going. So I didn't really enjoy that because some days I just don't want to straighten my hair, but now I'm going to because I don't want to have to wear a hat either. What else? Multiple types of tofu. That's not as important if you're not a vegetarian. And I haven't actually honestly looked into it that intensely, but I've heard that it's hard to find because I work for a family, so they buy the food. So, but the only kind you can get here is like the super firm, and so it basically comes in two types, like super firm and super firm that's barbecue flavored, except it tastes nothing like an actual barbecue. It's like this weird smoky flavor-ish thing that I'm not super fond of. I miss my old type of tofu at Wings. That's okay. It's just kind of like a vegetarian kind of thing. But yeah, it's actually not hard to be a vegetarian here. Like everyone always sounds concerned, but I mean, you just avoid the sausage, which, you know, sometimes obviously it's a little harder than other times, but but it's not a big deal. I mean, I think the weirdest part of it is just explaining it to people because it comes up sometimes, and I don't think it's as common outside of America as it is in America. That's a stupid sentence, but yeah, so it's just always weird to explain it or have to explain it, but I've never had an issue working around it. I'm looking at my list again. Being able to ask for a cup of coffee to go. Yeah, I figured out how to do that now, but I try harder now to speak German when I'm with salespeople, but as my friends can attest to, since they hear all my missteps, I'll get something wrong. Like I'll remember how to say, you know, I would like the coffee to go, but then I won't understand what they're saying when they say, would you like anything else with that? And then I'll just be like, eh. And then they start speaking English because everyone can tell I speak English. But yeah, it's kind of just like interesting to how much you take for granted being able to communicate with people in America. I mean, I guess you don't really take it for granted. It's just like, why wouldn't you be able to do that if you speak English and everyone else does? But yeah, just being able to like talk to salespeople and tell them like, I want to return this pair of pants I don't want anymore because I found a better pair at H&M. That took like good 5 minutes. She did not understand what I was saying. I was trying to explain, which I thought I was doing a pretty good job of because it's like, here, I have a receipt, here's a card, but it was just really confusing. And then even just like directions for things, like everything's, there's sometimes English, but usually things are just in German, especially when you're cooking or buying just like little junk things like a hair straightener. When I've dyed my hair, I don't always know what it's saying. I kind of know what it's saying because I've dyed my hair before and because I look up words, but you know, you kind of have to guess sometimes. So it's funny when people send me things from America because I get really super excited just to like read an instruction manual for things Emily has sent me. Because it's in English and it's just like weird to remember what that is like. I don't know. It's just funny. Oh yeah, stores being open on Sunday. I missed that. I understand the cultural reasons for not having it open on Sunday, and like it's a good idea to stick with your family and stuff, but like when you only have the weekends off and then, you know, I would hang out with my friends on the weekend, which is kind of like my family away from family when I don't have a family here. It's just kind of hard to deal with having no stores open on Sunday. Like there's a few convenience stores that'll be open till like, I don't know, 2 or something and stuff like that. But like, you know, you can't get alcohol and you can't get like a lot of different stuff. And there's always like food places that are open, but most of them are closed. Like a lot of the activities you would go to are closed. Like all of the like clothing stores and stuff like that are closed. So if I want to go to like a store to get a new jacket or something, I have to remember to go on Saturday or to take time off during the week. Oh yeah, and a lot of stores aren't open past 8 that would be in America, and I mean in New York, really. But so that's just different to deal with too. Like most grocery stores close at 8, so for the first couple months I was here, I had trouble remembering that because I was just so used to having like 24-hour everything, or at least like open till 12. So you have to remember to like get it before you go, or like get alcohol before you go out. But which is harder to remember because like if you get off at work at 7 and then blah blah blah. Well, anyways, so I should wrap this up with something so I don't miss going home. Because I honestly I like it here. This is just like, it's just a funny thing. It's just, you know, I miss little things, but it's not, these aren't important. Like I'm not totally dying without lemonade, but I mean everything else is really like not that important. Yeah, I don't miss the lack of public transportation in the US because, I mean, I hate driving. I really hate it. It's okay sometimes, but most of the time it just makes me panicky and I forget really common like road rules sometimes, which my mom won't be pleased to hear. But like, I mean, I've never gotten a crash, so I'm doing something right. But I'm not like unhappy with not having a car here, and I really like being able to use public transport because it just gets you around so much like in a different manner where you see different things and you don't have to worry about driving obviously, but yeah, so you can do different things when you're on your way there. So like it might take a few minutes longer, but like I can read a book, or I can listen to music, or I can study German, or I can talk to a friend. I mean, you can kind of do that in a car, but technically, you know, talking to people causes car accidents if they're not in the car with you, just, you know. But yeah, so and it's better for the environment, and it's a good way to like hang out with your friends, kind of. But not really, but I mean, you can go to places together and you don't have to worry about like who's driving, blah blah blah. And you know, it's one set price, and it's just convenient. You know, it runs most hours of the day. You have to walk a little more sometimes, but I think that's a good thing. Like you see more the city and you get exercise, which I don't know if like America is really, you know, has too much of that or anything. And yeah, and safer too if you're not driving, you're not worrying about getting a crash, which I worry about. I'm a little bit of hypochondriac about that. And there's one other aspect of that that seems really obvious, and I'm just like, my mind keeps slipping over it. What would be ideal about public transport? Yeah, you can drink. You can, you don't need a designated driver when you go out drinking, which is really nice because, you know, I never had to use that in college because we were so close to everything, and now I don't need to use it now, so it's pretty ideal. Yeah, no one ever says genau in America, and genau is just really so much more expressive than any word in English, I almost said American, could be. It's just genau. It's very, tells you what's going on, yeah. Yeah, I don't miss American politics. I mean, that's always just embarrassing. Like, it was embarrassing when I was in America, but it's more embarrassing when you leave and you realize just how embarrassing American politics really are and how much people are also kind of aware of them, because it's one thing if your country sucks but no one really knows about it, which could probably be true of a lot of people's countries that I meet, because I just don't know that much about their countries. But especially modern politics, like how much do we know about like France today? At least normal, average Americans, you know about old stuff. But yeah, so it's just like I hate hearing about Santorum, and I mean I like making fun of him, but like it's really like to know that people really support him, and that like it's not a joke. They actually support him, and to have relatives that actually like Sarah Palin, it's just like I don't know, I don't know. And to read the kind of arguments America has, it's like stuck in 50 years ago. Like we shouldn't, I don't know, a very severe lack of education about economics and the way money works and stuff like that. Like this whole healthcare thing, like, I mean, it's not like it's necessarily the best idea, but the arguments that people use against it don't make any sense. Like they're not grounded in any sort of logic. So it's very strange. Oh yeah, I mentioned pretzels before, but America does not have cheap pretzels. Pretzels here are like usually about 50 cents, which in an American dollar would probably be like 70 cents or something. And if you went to the mall, those bad babies would be like $3 or $4, which here would be like, you know, €2 or €2.50, €3, and so you just can't hold a pretzel, hold a candle to that. So that's a pretty good deal, and it's a very German thing, and it's a nice thing to have when you're like coming home and stuff, having to get like I don't know what you would get instead of a pretzel if you're not here at fries or something. Well, anyhow, so that's nice. Yeah, so I'll make a different video later because this is getting really long. But yeah, okay. I hope you're all doing well.